Today I'm going to be teaching you a back to basics on how I personally do my makeup routine. I start with my eyebrows, so I wanted the first video of this series to be how I do my brows. This is an updated brow routine. This is how I do my eyebrows every day, all the time. This shows you the technique that I use every day and my ride or die products really that I've used for years. And if you want to see how I got this eye look and how I do my eyebrows and my tips and tricks for how to do eyebrows, then just keep watching. To determine what eyebrow shape is good for your face, because everybody's face is different, you're going to want to determine it based off of symmetry, because beauty is based off of symmetry. It's a psychology thing, you can look it up. But basically, the more symmetrical a person is, the more beautiful they are. How I do this is you could take a pencil, anything that's this shape, a brush, whatever, this is just a brush, and you put it on the edge of your nose like this, and that is where your brow is supposed to start. Now, when you make it diagonal and go through your pupil, that is where your arch should be, just the alignment. And then when you turn it like this, the edge of your nose to the edge of your eye, that is where your tail of your brow should be. Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. It is their natural eyeshadow collection. Mine is old. They have new packaging now, but the colors are still the same inside. And I take this Sex Espresso color, which is like a deep chocolate color. And the way that you're going to determine what color shadow you're going to use for your eyebrows is based off of your hair color. So for a blonde or a redhead, I've used this color, which is Cashmere Bunny. That's more of a cool toned brown. And you can always build up shadow. The first thing that you want to do with your eyes is put a base on. This one is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. And you just want to use a small little bit and apply it to the eyes. And you just want about that much. Now the trick is to really warm it up in your fingers before applying it to any client, to yourself. And you just put it where the shadows will go. So I put it through my hand. Next you want to take a flat angled brush. This one is just a regular angled brush. The bristles are stiff so that I can get a solid line. The reason why you don't want these bristles to be soft is because you really want to have control of your brush. Now I'm going to be dipping it into that dark chocolate color. And the first thing I always do is line the bottom here. And I do a very, very faint line. So see the line that I drew? That's where my brow is going to start. Next, I like to take the top portion where I have baby hairs, and I like to draw a line of the top. You see where that top is? So now I have a bottom guide and a top guide, so I know where to fill. Next, I turn my head to the side, and I connect the tail downwards, and I fill in this little gap here. Next, fill in your inside of your brow with whatever is left on the brush. Do not double dip. If you do, this is what will make the eyebrow look very harsh. You want to barely fill it in. With the tail in the back, you can make it as dark as you want, because you can always make it a little bit lighter there with powder or whatever, but towards the front, you cannot take it away. So just barely filling it in with whatever is left will give you a natural look. So now you can see that the brows are filled in and it's not too dark. So today I'm going to be using my Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation and concealer. It's their 2-in-1. So this is my foundation and I use it as my concealer. I just go ahead and clean up the brows. So basically, again, you need a small little detailing brush. This one's just a small flat little brush from an Amazon set that I had gotten years ago. And I'm going to be starting again towards the front of the brow. And I am just lightly dragging the product. Very minimal. The more expensive the product you have, the more pigment it will have. Since this is not a drugstore foundation, it does have a lot of pigments in it. Now I'm going to be doing the middle of the brow, and I am just following that shape of my hair. So based on how your eye shape and everything is. You're just gonna basically let the brush do the work for you. Now the last part I like to do, just to soften it up, get the product really pushed in there and prepped for shadow, is to take my ring finger and just marry that edge with my lid. So I'm just taking whatever product, I'm not adding anything, and I'm just dragging it down ever so slightly onto the eyelid. Taking a very little product, holding the brush diagonally this time, letting it do the work for me. I am just doing it very, very, very gently on that top. I'm just gonna blend this up like that. Again, letting the brush do the work for me. Taking whatever product is left, I'm doing it down towards the front. Again, you don't want to add too much product here because that is what makes the brows look so heavy. Lastly, for the tail, I'm gonna take where I left off, which is that top part right there you could see. And I'm just putting a little bit of the product there and dragging it downwards like that. The edge of my finger, and I just marry that edge and blend it out to my face so I could prep it for the foundation later. Now this is the last step that I do for my brows. This is something that not everybody has to do, but this is a trick that I swear by, because this is what really locks and loads my brows. This is what makes my eyebrows waterproof and look phenomenal. It could be raining, I could be sweating, and my brows will not move or budge. And my secret is the CoverGirl Lash Blast in waterproof. Take most of the mascara off. I was already doing it. You just scrape it off, and you find on the bristles where it has the least amount of product, and you want to start not quite in this front part, but you want to start right here and drag it out. And then once you have less product on the tail end, whatever is left over you do on the top. And there's the other side. The reason why I like to use mascara, and especially a waterproof mascara, is because mascara clings to any little baby hair you have. So if you have a bald spot, like here, I have a little bald spot, the mascara will cling to any little facial hair that's there, and it will make it part of the brow. And it just looks so flawless and so beautiful. And I will insert pictures of a close-up of my brow using this exact technique so you can see how it looks.